Hello, ladies, gents, boys and girls, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and welcome back into the PMDG 737-800. We are using the new Boris Audio Works sound pack, released last week, I believe. I've been on holiday since then, so it's my first chance to have a look. It's already been updated, so hopefully the sounds are really good. I remember them being really good in the 2020 version. So without further ado, let's jump into the flight deck and get everything set up for our flight over to Gatwick. Flight time about an hour, cruising at 33,000 feet. So welcome into the flight deck of the 737-800. We are using the fan zone mod for the weathering on the flight deck. And as you can see, it already sounds a little bit different. So they do sound quite a bit different, sorry. But they sound exactly like they were in 2020, which is good, because they were really good sounds. Let's plug in 33,000 feet on the auto panel there. And we'll clear the master caution. And we'll jump into the EFB. And we'll just make sure that the door is open on the left-hand side, which it is, I believe. Is that open? Yeah, the door's open. Okay, so we can start boarding shortly. Let's jump into the page here, and we'll go Echo India Delta Whiskey, which is Dublin, and we are on stand, if I can see it anywhere. 122, stand 122. And we'll go next page, and it's not there yet, so what we'll do is we'll request GSX to board. And we shall go into the EFB and have a look through our departure chart. So we'll go airport.
Passengers bus is coming.
There's airport, we'll pin it, and then we'll go SID, and we are on the Endo 3 Juliet, which is...
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
At the top, Bespan, to Quebec, to Quebec, to Quebec, 4 Echo, 4 Echo, 1 Echo, 8 Echo, come on.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
There's the depart chat sorted, so we'll click that off, and on the PFD we'll go traffic and terrain, or traffic and data on my side, and traffic, data and terrain on the first officer side. Get the APU spooling as well. Get some conditioned air into the cabin for the passengers who will be boarding shortly. And we'll go next page, left GPS, and pop that in.
Passengers boarding starting.
We shall then request our flight plan from SimBrief, which has already been populated. And we'll load that in there. We're going to get the fuel plugged in, so we're going to need, so to get there safely, we'll add an extra 100 kg, so it's going to be, after I execute that, it's going to be 6.4, 6,400, and the payload is going to be 61 on the dot. Lovely. So we'll go FMC, legs on the first officer's page, and we're going to be departing off of runway 28 right here at Dublin. And we're going to execute and departures, 28 right, Ender 3 Juliet. Execute, arrivals into good old Gatwick is going to be the ILS 08 on the Dizzy 1 Golf, and that's going to be via Willow, I believe. Let me just double check the flight plan so I don't get that wrong. It is indeed via Willow, so it's the Willow transition into Gatwick. We'll execute that, and that should give us a little teardrop arrival. Get the left and right gen on for the APU, and we'll go get some pressurised or conditioned air into the cabin, sorry. Lovely. Right, let's have a look through the flight plan. So we'll go plan mode, sync the Q&H's up, and we'll go plan mode, right hand turn after departure. It doesn't draw the SID very well here. And then down into Gatwick, teardrop down, and then back up. We'll probably avoid doing that, and we'll probably just cut in and go straight onto the ILS. Right, these are fuel weight 61. 6.3 we need to get there safely. Reserves to get to Bournemouth are going to be mental maths. Let's have a look. 2.9. I believe, which it is 2.8, so but we'll just put it 2.9 round up. Cost index is going to be 80, cruising at 33,000 feet. Cruise winds are going to be 144 at 42. Execute. Let's get to the M1 limits and get the iPad there. We'll go to
Passenger's
performance.
bus is coming.
28 right, import, calculate, and that's giving us a selected temperature, D rate of 2 with a selected temperature of 32, which will pop in there, and it's giving us a climb D rate of 1 as well, and we go 0.0 on the slope, and the runway wind for today is 140 at 7, and that is all done there, and then we'll go flap 5, pop that in. It's given us a trim of 529, and then the V speeds are slightly wrong, so we'll put 142 in initially. That's a V1. VR and V2 are correct, so we'll leave them in, and that is the performance page done on in the FMC. Sorry, and we get the trim set of 5.3 units, and the parking brake has come on now.
Passengers boarding starting.
Beautiful. Right, overhead panel, that looks good to me. We'll go 147 on that side, get the iPad back there, and we'll go on to our departure and the airport. So the stop altitude, this SID, I think it's done via ATC, so I believe we'll just go to the first height restriction, which is flight level 90, so we'll go 9,000 feet, like so, and we'll find out the heading. Lovely, and we'll plug that in there, and that is us ready for push and start. Right, boarding has been complete by GSX. They're locking the gear, doors are closed, we are ready for push and start. Everything's going well so far. Check the weather down in Gatwick. It's not too nice. The whole of the UK has been hit by some blustery winds and some showers. It doesn't look like it's going to rain when we get down there, but it'll be cloudy and grey, which is pretty typical of this time of year in the UK. But it's nothing we can't handle. I just have to a bit worried about the landing. The last aeroplane I tried to fly was the MD-11. And
Release parking brakes, please.
you have to flare that at 50 feet instead of 20 like this, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we'll just do the pre-pushback checks. We get the squawk to 1,000. We're offline today. The pedestal is done correctly, and we are squawking. Beacon light on, steps are clear, parking brake
push.
released.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push is completed and brakes are set.
That's fine, we'll hold engine start, and then we'll do it when we've push complete, because we'll be able to listen to them a little bit better. See what magic Boris has been doing with his sound pack. So it's not too far of a taxi either to 28 right. You can hear they've got the gear scrape as well, which is really realistic. The wheel makes that noise mostly all the time. especially if you're standing at the front or in the flight deck. So it's nice to see. They've also brought back the chudders as you go over the sort of, well, not over the lights. It doesn't know you're going over the lights, but the wheel sort of bangs as you go taxi places, which is nice as well. It's just nice to have a little bit of ear candy, isn't it? I mean, the new sounds from PMDG have been pretty good, but I haven't heard all the Boris sounds yet, but it's just elevated my experience in the 7.3.
Please set parking brakes.
Parking brakes set. We'll tell GSX to wait a second.
Cockpit to ground. Engine's not
And
started
I'll
yet.
be quiet as
I'll
we
call you
start
back
engine number
later.
2. So that sounded pretty good. We'll
Cockpit to ground.
confirm
We have a
pushback.
good engine start. You can disconnect.
And we'll start
Unlocking gear.
engine number 1. We'll wait for 24 to 25% before throwing in the fuel. Yeah, it's got a very nice bass to it as the engine starts. There's engine number 1 starting.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Left is clear, right is clear.
Right, so GSX is cleared off. Those were 2 good engine sounds, or engine starts, and the sounds were pretty good as well. So we'll wait for the bypass pin to be shown, and then we'll start the before taxi flows, or after engine start flows, sorry. There's the pin, so overhead panel, left gen, right gen, taxi light on, APU off, start switch is continuous. We're going to get the probe heats on now. We're going to get left pack auto, right pack auto, isolation valve auto, APU bleed off, down, and flaps position 5, and it's going to ask us to repopulate the V speed, which is absolutely fine. We'll do that, and just remember that it was 1, 4, 2 at the start. Lovely. Right, blank the lower DU. Let's get ready for the flight control check. Flap sounds good. And let's start the flight control check. Let me get my feet on the rudders, and we go full right, neutral, left, neutral, forward, neutral, back, neutral. We're going left on the rudders and right on the rudders. All flight controls are free and correct. So taxi is pretty simple. We'll go Fox Alta, and then we'll taxi to the hold point for runway 28 right here at Dublin. Right, welcome to November 2, hold point. I've had to change the V speeds The 73s and Ryanair take off from this intersection. The runway's long enough, so I just recalculated in the EFB everything, and it's given us 148, different trim, but everything's pretty much the same. So I'm happy to depart off from November 2, and we are ready to go. It'll be interesting to see what the engine sounds are like as well. Apparently they did do a couple of tweaks with stuff, so it'll be interesting to see if they are as good as the new sound set for the PMDG 737 that comes with it default. Let's go chrono, let's spool them up, we'll do a rolling takeoff, Ryanair style. Spool up time's good. Stable, chrono, not chrono, toga, set takeoff thrust, light forward pressure. Yeah, from behind the wing it doesn't sound the best, but up here it sounds good. There's 80 knots. We do have a tailwind.
V1.
Rotate. All through that dead band. Wings level. Positive rate. Okay, gear up. I keep forgetting that they've got the first officer that does the call-outs for you. Pitch up to 20 degrees. That weather does not look friendly at all. And that buzzsaw noise sounds good though. There's that right-hand turn. Book up to 213, but is the speed restriction 210? Let me just double check that. Yeah, it's 210, and I've messed up that turn completely, so that is my own fault. Bad pilot skills. Flaps can go up to position 1, and we'll just go direct to the waypoint before. It didn't draw the turn very well anyway. Sometimes the PMDG does struggle to draw stuff. I don't know if it's a bug for Dublin. It's only at specific airports though, but it's not too bad. Start that right hand turn now. Right, gear can come up and off. Now we'll go command A. Going into a cloud and it's below 10 degrees, so we'll get the engine anti-ice on. And we're going to start that right hand turn now. So after this waypoint it should be free speed, so we'll whack it into VNAV, let the aeroplane handle and manage the speed, and we'll just climb to cruise altitude of 33,000 feet. It's a short flight, so you want to get up there quickly to make it more efficient. So there's 33,000, out into VN twice, aeroplane's going to climb to cruise altitude now, and we'll go flaps up. Beautiful Irish countryside down there. Sounds pretty good on that departure. And away we go. Weather is not friendly at all. At all. Cabin crew can be released to start their in-flight service. Taxi light, logo light off. And we should be, we're not heavy, we're quite light, so we should be climbing up to 330 quite quickly today. We'll go standard barometric pressure. And we'll pop a fixed wing round runway 08 right to give us some situational awareness when we get close to descent. So we'll have a 4 mile ring, 10 mile ring, and a 1,000, not 1,000, 115 mile ring as well, if I can just speak. And we've got some weather coming up in front of us, but hopefully we would have climbed above that by that time, as we're stepping through 8,000 feet. Beautiful. My engine anti-ice can come off now, and that is pretty much it for the climb out. I'm going to leave you with some climb and cruise highlights, and I'll see you in the descent into London Gatwick. Hello, welcome back into the flight deck. We've been descending now for a little bit of time, just over 40 minutes airborne, and we're still set up for runway 08. Right, we're going to dial that speed back to 250 knots, coming in slightly faster than I'd like to, just a bit too close to 10,000 feet. So we're getting the lever shame out. And the weather down in Gatwick is still not too friendly. It's not that windy, but it's just low cloud base and some pretty grim weather. There's the final approach speed of 148, so I'll add 5 knots onto that. Everything is going well so far. Boris Audio Works sound pack has been brilliant, and the PMDG 737 has handled the flight with flying colours so far. And we're definitely going to cut through. We're not going to do the whole arrival because that would be silly. Usually in quieter types they'd give you a vector into final. You wouldn't have to do the whole thing. And because we're offline today, we're just going to go vector ourselves in, which we'll do now to is it that one first, or no, it's going to be the centre fix 0.08 right, which is absolutely fine. It's giving us slightly high on profile, but that's fine. Kit speed brake out, let VNAV handle all that. Lights can come on. Seatbelt sign's already on. Passengers are seated. Cabin crew are, well, they'll have to be ready for landing. Start switch is continuous, and we'll get some anti-ice on. Turn down the temperature a little bit. It's getting a bit warm in that cabin. Yeah, it's going to be too warm, so about to hit this horrible cloud base here. We're probably not going to see the ground for a little bit, but that's okay, as long as we have visual of the runway before minimums. So we don't need that anymore, we just need the actual final approach bit. which is there. So it wants mandatory 3,000 feet for that centre fixed 0.08 right. And the go around is pretty simple, straight out and a right hand turn once we reach the waypoint and altitude restriction. That weather does not look too friendly in front of us, does it? Not the nicest at all. And I'll pop it into its own speed, and speed brake can be stowed. And we'll get the yoke up as well. Beautiful. Right, so it's in managed speed, aeroplane's handling everything. We're going to exit off of the runway left hand side, and then I'll have a look in a second what terminal Ryanair use. Well, actually, I think the real aeroplane would have landed by now, so I'll check where that parked. And we'll copy it, go into the same stand. The scenery that we used in Dublin was, of course, the MK Studios V2, and the scenery I'm using for Gatwick is, of course, the iniBuilds Gatwick, only available for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So we've had two nice sceneries, both sectors. It's just a shame we haven't been out to the British countryside. It's been quite cloudy, as you can see from the time-lapse footage. So here is the chart for the airport. So left-hand turn, any of these, and then the real aeroplane. Let me just go on flight radar on my iPad. The real aeroplane taxied off and into... Oh no, it still had its transponder on, which is good. And it taxied into the turn-away. Oh, it's British, like the Griffin British Airways go. Okay, that's fine. So it didn't go to the top one. So it went in the corner there, stand 5 there. That's fine. So Ryanair plane hid in the corner. We'll go via Zulu, Whiskey Victor. That'll do me. Oh, there's a bit of ground. That's not too bad. So we should have visual of the runway quite easily then, if it starts to break up like this. At the moment in front of us, so we've got this horrible sort of cloud base going through. There's the approach. And that's there. We'll open up the speed window again. We'll go 220 knots. I just want to start slowing the airplane down a little bit. We're only 10 miles away from intercepting the ILS. 240 knots seems slightly too aggressive for my liking. And it would like us at 220 knots anyway, so we're not doing that teardrop shape anyway. So we'll just go 210 knots, or 220, sorry. Intercept at 210. And I can see the ground just off to the left-hand window, so hopefully when we've gone through this very dark cloud, it's actually made the flight deck look really nice, that has. Yeah, the flight deck looks really nice lit up like that. So, remembering I'm not in the MD-11 today. I was flying the MD-11 all week before I went on holiday. So I'll probably only remember the flare of the MD-11. But I got to remember, keep the power in until about 20 to 10 feet. And I should be okay. Flaps 1 to start with. And there are the leading edge slats coming out. And the sim's behaving itself very well. Performance is, well, has been so far excellente. So I'm quite happy with it. But the PMDG is quite performance light. It's actually really good on, well, even my old crappy system, it was really good. So it should be even better on my new system that I've got. We're going down to 210 for intercept alert. I'll arm the speed brake prematurely. Might need to get it back out in a bit, but it should be okay. I'm going to go down to 2,000 feet. I don't want the aeroplane to level off at all. So ready for that incept. There is the sound of the, I think it's the pressurisation. The doors letting a bit of pressurisation out. It does that in the real aeroplane. When you're by the cabin door, when I sit down, it does make like a whistling noise like that you can hear. So that's nice that Boris has added that noise. Left hand turn, and I haven't got any localizer guidance, so it's, I think I'll put it, yeah, I put 109.90, it's 110.90. So that is my fault, so I'll have to quickly change that and try and fly the plane. 110.9, insert, approach. There you go, I've got the correct guidance there, and then I'll go 110.9 on that side. That is all set up there nicely. We'll go flap 5. We're going down to 2,000 feet. So I'll whack it into vertical speed in a second. The vertical speed, slow it down to about 500 feet per minute. There's glide slope. So we've set 3,000 as our go round. Nice on glide. And we're on speed of 175 knots. Gear down. We shall go flaps 10, 15, match speed, and we shall, our speed brake's already armed, so we'll go flat 30 shortly, there's 130. And we'll go down to 153 knots. Wind's picking up a little bit. Hopefully that dies off. It says it's like a 9 knot wind, and that is definitely not a 9 knot wind. So leave that like that. Landing checklist has been complete. We'll get the order throttle off, and I'll take control. My aeroplane. Clear that horn. Thank you. Wind's kicking up as per usual. Thank you, Microsoft. Yeah, it's not too friendly, those winds are. So it's giving me 3 red, but I am not even a quarter of a dot off. So I don't know. Oh my god, those winds. What's going on? We are slightly low, but it shouldn't be 3 red low. So we're definitely, yeah, I'm just going to go with the glide slope, not the pappies.
100,
Holy moly, those winds.
50, 30, 20, 10,
Cut thrust, hold it there, let it settle. Down we are. Oh, wind, 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 wind. Yeah, that is so stupid, that wind is. The METAR is a 9 knot wind, and that is definitely not 9 knots. So speed brakes are up, reverses are green. We are decelerating nicely. We maintain that centre line. You see that drop of the wing a minute ago, it's just the wind kicks up for no reason. And we can go reverses idle. Auto brake off, and we can taxi off nicely at the point that we wanted to. Another successful flight completed in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Could have been a crash if that wind carried on, but we are down safely. And we're taxi to stand 5, which is over in the corner. So it'll be right hand. We'll clear off with 08 left and 26 right. We don't need to be on this on the runway, even though it's not a runway anymore. Turn all the lights off. Sounds, they're pretty good. Boris, it's definitely an upgrade on the built-in sounds. Even though the studio that did the sounds, I think it was Echo 18 or Echo something, their aeroplane sounds are pretty good in the 737. But Boris just elevates them slightly. I mean, you get like the rumble of the nose gear correctly and the skidding of the wheel and just better sounds. But if you're on the fence about the sounds, I wouldn't even bother with the Boris, because the ones that you get with the Echo 19, that's the one, Echo 19 sounds, that they are really good actually. But it is a free upgrade for the sounds. If you already had them in 2020, there is no upgrade fee, so that's nice. And it's just a simple click on the Orbex store and you have them on your 737. So we go for stand 5, no, and Swissport International, because that's who do Ryanair. And we'll taxi on down, we'll get the APU on. And that was another successful flight in 2024. The 7-3 handling it perfectly as usual, apart from the winds on final. I don't know whether that's a Microsoft thing or a PMDG thing, but the plane, when you've got those sort of gusting winds, it does feel a little bit like a paper bag in a windstorm. And I've learnt not to fight the wind and just to let the plane do what it needs to do. Just try and keep it as wings level and straight and narrow as you can without overcorrecting it. Because this plane it's really nice to fly, but it's very easy to overdo it with certain stuff, especially on landing and takeoff. The elevators are quite twitchy, so it only needs a little bit of back pressure and the wheel comes off the ground. And same for the flare, only needs a tad little bit of back pressure for the flare. But it's very easy to over flare it or under flare it and end up in a heap at the end of the runway. But it was a pretty nice landing. I made sure not to flare it like an MD-11. And we'll taxi right down to the terminal. We'll turn right, and I can see behind the jet blast barrier our stand. I didn't even know there was a terminal or bit of parking around here. I thought it was like a test bed for aeroplanes, but well, I couldn't think of a better place to put the Ryanair planes. They just like hiding them out the corner, don't they? So So it's a right hand turn here. And then just a left. So we'll turn the taxi light on, off. Sorry, we don't need it anymore. And we'll turn down the temperature a little bit more. And we'll go left here. These blast barriers look very close to wingtip clearance. I'm sure this aeroplane can get through because it doesn't have the longest wings. But if I was in anything slightly bigger, I'd be concerned. Oh yeah, we got plenty of room. I suppose that the only planes that can park on this side of the airport are like, I think that probably the biggest would be like a 321. So we've got nothing to worry about. And there's our stand right in the corner. Yeah, got loads of room, look at that. So left hand turn here, onto stand 5. Let's see if we can get all the zeros and do a good good parking. There we go. Oh, that's good enough for me. So we'll set the parking brake. Engine 1 and 2 can come off. We'll go beacon off. Seatbelt sign off. And we'll get the packs on as well. Welcome down to Gatwick. So guys, welcome down to Gatwick. Flight time of just over 50 minutes due to that lovely shortcut we had coming in. Very windy arrival, a bit too much over-dramatised I think in 2024, the winds are sometimes. But another successful flight in the PMDG 737, most importantly the Boris sound pack being excellent as always. I would recommend it if you're on the fence though. The Echo 19 sounds are really good that come default with the aeroplane. But it's just nice to have the option, isn't it? Especially to elevate your experience if you do fly the 737 a lot. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon with another video.